I learned recently that anyone can be a telemarketer. Like, it doesn't matter. I've even seen a guy, they go like this. You want to do a background check? And they're like, no, you could start tomorrow. What are you talking about, a background? No, we don't want to do a background check.
But I'm a convicted felon.
Okay.
I've been arrested 10 times.
Stop.
You don't care about that?
Read the script. Goodbye.
Oh,
So yesterday or last week, we talked about BS High. And we still have more exploring with BS High to do. There'll be an interview with one of the producers coming to the channel, I think. But this week, and this is why, and HBO Max, I feel, is doing a piss poor job of promoting docs and their, what's it called? Interface, right? Their interface is terrible. Because they do
It is.
It's horrible. You can't find any of this great stuff. There's great stuff on there. But they're so bad about putting the great stuff front and center on the page. Like,
well, because there's too much. It's Discovery Plus, and then you got HBO. I opened up the app when you and Travis were talking about this, and I was expecting this to be front and center. But I literally had to write telemarketers.
You have to go digging. You have to go digging. Yeah. That's why we're here, to put you up on this stuff. Because it's important. The Telemarketers is a 3-parter on HBO Max. All 3 parts are already up there, so you can binge them tonight. They're an hour each. You're going to bang through them one after the other easily. It follows this gentleman right here, Sam Lipman Stern, and it was actually produced by, did you see who produced it? The Sadfy brothers and Danny McBride produced it.
Oh, there you go.
Nice names on this thing. But Sam Lipman Stern is this gentleman right here. And like 20-something years ago, he dropped out of high school, right? So he's like 14, I think he said, as a freshman in high school. And he dropped out. And his parents said, if you're going to drop out of high school, you need to get a job. Which is a wild thing for parents to say.
You say that about college.
Yeah, or maybe at like 17, if it's real obvious that you're not even going to graduate high school. But as a freshman in high school, to be like, yeah, high school is just not for me. It's like, dude, like you are literally fresh out of middle school. This is a great...
Go get some Mickey D's then.
Well,
flip some burgers.
He tried to. He tried to get a job at McDonald's. He tried to get a job at Burger King. They said he was too young. They said it's a crazy thing that you would be working full time. I don't even think it's legal. Aren't you supposed to be in school until you're 16 legally? I mean, I don't know the laws. But I do know that there was this telemarketing place that was like 14. Yeah, can you read? Yeah, read the script. And yeah, you could get a gig here. And he started filming this stuff because he worked there for a few years. Like I said, he's 14, and he's this 14-year-old in high school dropout in Jersey, New Brunswick, of course, beautiful New Brunswick.
I have a house there,
and he's you own property in New Brunswick, do you?
I do.
Oh,
I do.
Good for you, good for you. And he ends up working in this place where he's shocked to see that the same way they'll hire high school dropouts like nothing, convicted felons, drug addicts, it doesn't matter because like you get paid by the hour anyway. So if you don't show up, there's a ton of people working here just making calls. If you don't show up to work, they're not going to search for you. They just bring on the next person. And if you miss work, however many days, they'll just fire you and bring somebody else on. They're not looking for like employees that are looking for growth in the company or looking to stay there for years. They just need to, whatever. Are you here today? Good. Read the script. Keep making calls.
And they have a near unlimited pool of people that they can pull from.
Right. High school dropouts, convicted felons, and drug addicts. There's so many of them, especially in New Brunswick. So this gentleman ends up becoming great friends with this icon right here, Patrick Pespas, young Pat Pespas, who I believe is on drugs at the beginning. He's a drug addict. You
believe? There's plenty of video.
Okay, there is footage of him doing injectables, I guess is what you would say, injectable drugs, and it ain't HGH. Okay, it's not performance. It's definitely not performance enhancing. But it is amazing to watch.
I don't know.
It could be to watch this guy read the script and sell people on what he's supposed to be selling them on while he's losing consciousness at his desk. People are giving him money as he's like passing out. It's amazing to watch.
If all of a sudden I'm like here on your monitor and like any single time there's an input. Yeah, it was really a good documentary.
But you have the show of a lifetime. Like you have great input on the show. Like it's like this guy Hot Dog is on fire, and you're still just nodding off as you go. Oh my God, you're basically Artie in his last years on the Stern Show. So, but it started because he had all this footage, and in the very early days of YouTube, he just used to post behind the scenes footage from this telemarketing place that he worked at. It was like it didn't make the company look great. It was Pat nodding off. It was people doing drugs. It was people putting each other in chokeholds. It was a ruckus environment. Eventually, his boss was like, "You got to stop uploading stuff on YouTube," even though it was getting 10, 12 views, nothing. He was like, "You got to stop uploading stuff on YouTube because the higher ups at the company are seeing this and it's not making us look good, and the company's building out and everything." He goes, "Okay." So what this company was doing was trying to
CDG.
What was it?
CDG, the Civic Development Group.
The Civic Development Group is they were trying to get donations to help different quote unquote charities. And the more you looked into this, the more it was very clear. Like they were looking for police benefactor, whatever they are, charities, the PBA and stuff like that. I don't know if that was the actual organization, so don't hold me on that. But it was those types of organizations. Some of the organizations didn't exist. Some of the organizations did exist. But point being, the money wasn't going to charity. And so the company that he was working for got busted and they shut down. So he was like, what's next? And he realized that there were all these other companies sprouting up. And they weren't running into the same problems that this company was running into, and they were using different tactics, right? They were going a step further. They were representing themselves as people representing officers, or this money will go straight to the officer, or whatever it was. And they had all these, you can donate on the silver level, the gold level. You can donate on this level, get a sticker for your car. That's what they were saying. Everybody loves the stickers for their cars. You got to give them a sticker for their car. They love it.
And the big one that some of the companies later on would be using is they would say 100% of your charity what you give us will be going to this company or this union or whatever.
Right. And it's like, how can that possibly be profitable for their company? Well, so there was a lot of shadiness going on, and over the years these two fell out of touch because, as it turns out, old Pat wasn't as reliable as you would think he was. He would disappear for years at a time. But eventually, as they were watching all this stuff happening, and they started talking to other people in the field, they realized that this thing went way far up the political food chain. That a lot of times that there were law enforcement and political organizations actually involved in this, that there were PACs, political action committees, actually involved in this. And so Pat Pespas, he said, instead of just like recording footage and it's just like we're doing funny stuff, we should do a documentary and we should do an investigation. Pat decided that he wanted to become this guy. This guy evolved into this icon right here. Put on a blazer, put on the shades, and started doing interviews. And this Sam realized, like, look, I don't have that much going on with my life right now. And Pat is as iconic a human being as could possibly exist. So I guess
he has energy.
You kidding me? Plus, I watched him sell. It's not a joke. Like, I mean, maybe some of his interview techniques were a bit of a joke. Like, I I don't know that he was the best person to be doing the high-profile political interviews, but he ended up getting a job at another telemarketing firm while the doc was being made so he could see it from the inside.
Undercover.
And he made that very clear. He was undercover. But you watched him sell, and he was selling. Hi, this is Pat Pespas. I'm calling to represent this benefactors organization, and I see you've donated before, but I thought it might be something that you were interested in doing in the future. Can I tell you a little about what I've got? And you're just like,
he has this voice and this charm that you can't help but gravitate towards.
No, it's contagious. I mean, he gets all the way up the food chain that he ends up talking to Blumenthal. It's like Senator Blumenthal out of Connecticut, who I think, realized pretty quickly he didn't want to be involved in this interview at all.
I think he saw the outfit and he's just like, this isn't.
There was a great moment where, because he's wearing a blazer, he talks to a guy in a suit, and he assessed the interview after it happened. And he said, we kind of look like twins, both wearing the same thing. and Sam, the filmmaker, is just like, yeah, I'm so fascinated. It's almost like how Greg Sestero met Tommy Wiseau and was just so enamored by this personality that he was just like, yeah, I think I'm just going to hang with Tommy for years and just see what comes of it. Like, I don't know. I think I'm just going to see what comes of it.
There's something here.
Right. That's what this guy Sam did. And it does take that level of genius, right? Because Pat is a genius and an icon and a complete goat. But in order to get that out of him, you'd have to tell your friends and family, no, I'm just going to hang with Pat for decades to get this out of him. And look, luckily, Sam Lippman-Stern comes from the type of family that is like, okay, you could drop out of high school at 14, but only if you have a job. So maybe when he came to them and said, I think I'm just going to hang with Pat and we're going to investigate for a while, they were like, oh, okay. That sounds like a
Good
job.
for you. Good for you, honey.
I can't imagine that going poorly.
I mean, this is kind of like the story of two, not idiots, oddballs. Who just stumbled into a really good documentary, because these two should not be in the business at all.
And I'll tell you,
a good documentary.
I'll tell you how you found amazing characters. Spoiler alert: the documentary really doesn't go anywhere. Here's the flaw of the Telemarketers documentary: nothing happens. Nothing.
Right, there's not a resolution.
No, in 3 episodes, there is no journey. Nothing happens. There's no feeling of completion or having done anything at all. But the people that you're interacting with are so interesting, and just the whole life around it. Even if luckily the scandal was there, because I think that's how they were able to make it into a movie. But just watching Pat walk into a PBA headquarters with a camera crew and seeing them chase him out of the building, it's like the damnedest thing. And seeing this dude empowered, I love that. Seeing a guy who has nothing but a good attitude. His house sucks, but he's a positive guy. He loves his wife.
He wants to make a difference.
He wants to make a difference. He wants to do the right thing, and he's a go-getter, right? He tries to take a flight. He's very scared of planes. So from here on out, we're driving everywhere, even if it takes 12 hours. Okay, if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. And you're just like, yes, I wish there were more people like Pat. He rules. He's a New Jersey. If he were running for governor of New Jersey, I would buy some property along with you, hot dog. Get a residence in New Jersey to vote this guy in.
I'll disagree on one thing you said, though. You said that there's no journey. I'd say that there is a journey. The whole documentary is a journey. There's just no destination.
I mean, it's a journey in this. Well, look, would you say that Olympic track and field runners at the end of their run Have they gone on a journey?
Sure, I would argue that they have actually.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's just a different way of looking at it. I'm not arguing. A NASCAR driver will drive for 3 hours. Would you say that drive was a journey?
If they ended up in the same exact place, but the journey to get exactly back to where they were was a journey.
Would you say that if a dog spends an hour and a half one afternoon chasing its tail, has that dog been on a journey?
I would argue that he has.
Well, then I've got a movie for you. It's called Telemarketers. As long as the dog was the most interesting, iconic dog that New Jersey has ever seen, then yeah, I'm with you. And I'm fine with it. Like I was when it got to the end of episode 3 and I'm like scrolling going, wait, he was really talking conclusively at the end of this episode. This isn't the last episode. Yeah. Like there's another episode. They were like, no, those are all the episodes. I was like, oh.
And credits.
Yeah. Oh. All right.
So it's still going on. And
but you know what?
Hasn't stopped.
If Sam Lippman Stern, if Pat Pespas, if anyone involved wanted to head into the Not Sam studio and talk to me about this journey, I would be endlessly fascinated to talk to them. So Hot Dog.
Oh my God. Get Sam in studio.
You'd rather get Sam in than Pat?
Oh, no, Pat. Sorry. Get Pam in studio. Absolutely.
You said Pam that time. The second you said Pam.
Sam.
You said, oh my God, get Sam in studio. I said, you'd rather have Sam than Pat. You said, oh my God, yeah, of course, Pam. All right.
Next thing.
Maybe either
Pam.
one. Maybe we'll go either one.
It's me on my little heroin thing.
If this gets back, because you know what? When I posted the video from BS High on the channel by itself, I noticed in the comments, somebody was accusing me of getting things wrong in the story, which is possible. You know, I remember these docs and I just retell the story. I get things wrong all the time. But then I looked at, he was like, that's not true. We did this. That's not true. We did that. The guy who was leaving comments was the guy who originally started the school with the dude in the movie.
Oh, the other guy.
Yes.
The second dude.
The second dude who the villain in the movie was going, who? Oh, him. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds familiar.
Right.
Never heard of him.
When he was leaving comments on my thing, I was like, bro, if you say I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Because you rule. You're the man.
Now come on in. Come on down to the best Chester.
Here's who's invited to the Not Sam studio. Get into those Instagram DMs. You want to hit me up? Instagram DMs is where you go. Because sometimes I check the requests. And if it's not interesting to me, I'll pretend that I haven't checked the requests. But if it is, I'll respond. So, Patrick Pespas, Senator Blumenthal.
Okay. Shooting high.
Sam Lippman Stern, and the dude from my Instagram comments from last week. If you guys are listening, and you'd like to come into the Not Sam studio, hit me up on Instagram DMs. If I see it, I'll respond to it. We'll set it up. I'll have some crudité for you. Does that sound like it might be something that could interest you? Come on in. And if I get your phone number, I'm going to call you up. I'm going to say, Pat, this is Sam Roberts. I represent the Not Sam studio. And if you have a second, I'd like to tell you about something you might be interested in. You see, I do a show called Sam Roberts Now. Do I have your attention, Pat? And we'll see if we can go from there.
We have the gold super package if you like that.
I have a Not Sam sticker that I'd like to send you to stick on your car, but the only way I can get you that sticker is if you come in studio and do an interview with me. Is that something you'd like to do, Pat? I can do it.
You could. I got faith in you. You could absolutely get Pat.
All right.